Okay, now we have the TV crew here. Guys, you're on TV. TV crew, you are on TV here. We have the first material here. Hello and welcome to Memory Sports TV. And this guy who is sitting there and looking like, what the heck is going on here? This is me, Johannes Mallow, 2 times world memory champion. And I'm just watching the spoken numbers event of the French Memory Sports Open 2022.
4, 6.
Okay, let's check if we can see the screen here. Andreas, the screen. Let's see. Recall. And in this video, I will give you an insight into the world of the traditional format of memory competitions, which was introduced 1991. And this is 1 out of 10 disciplines called spoken numbers. Competitors have to memorize a sequence of spoken numbers, 1 digit per second. And in this first attempt, they have to memorize 100. But in the second and third attempt, they have to memorize even more. And there was one thing which makes this discipline very, very special, because you just get scored up to your first mistake. So, for example, if you would have memorized 100 digits, but you have a mistake on position number 2, only 1 digit would count to your score. Okay, 5 seconds, and we will see the score here for Andrea. I bet it's 100. There we go. And 100 for Andrea. Nicely done. 66 for Guillaume. Also a nice result for him, I guess. Another discipline is 10-minute cards. And in 10-minute cards, you have to memorize as many decks of cards as possible within 10 minutes. Each deck consists of 52 playing cards, and the current world record is 550 playing cards, memorized by Andrea Muzzi, world champion from Italy. This equals about 10.5 decks of playing cards. This is the recall phase, and in the recall phase they have 30 minutes to puzzle all the decks together. On the top they can choose the deck they want to recall, and on the bottom you see a list of 52 cards, and by clicking each card they can put them into the right spot. If they turn black, they are already used for that deck of cards. That helps competitors to spot if they have double clicked or miss one card. And believe it or not, but this is not the longest cards event. In the World Championship there is the event 1 hour cards, and you can imagine what that means. 1 hour card memorization. The best people in the world memorize 30 decks of cards plus. And people sitting at their desk like here with their laptops in front of them is a rather new thing in memory sports. A couple of years ago it was normal, even in a big competition like this one in China, that everyone was memorizing and recalling on paper. And for the 1 hour cards event it looked like this. You were sitting there with 30 decks of cards, and sometimes, at least for me, it felt like, damn, I should have gone for sightseeing. Memory competitions are still rather unknown, and with this channel and my Twitch channel I try to change that a bit by covering memory competitions, trying to give the people a great show and explaining everything as good as I can. So everyone is, if anyone, just joining us here on Memory Sports TV. This is a memory competition live from Montpellier. So we have 379. Okay. 156 for Guillaume, 3 decks. Okay. Yeah, this kind of reaction can you only expect from a memory athlete who is into the sport already since more than 18 years. But with no further ado, go to the next discipline, historical dates. Historic dates, next discipline. And in 5-minute dates, the contestants have to memorize as many historical and future dates as they can. And the idea here is that the dates are unknown to the competitors. So it's not real historical dates, it's fictional historical dates. But that is for the reason that no one has an advantage by knowing a lot of history or anything like that. So they have to memorize a list of historic dates with a fictional event and with a 4-digit number. The 4-digit number is always between 1000 and 2099. And in the recall, all the events are shuffled and they have to write down the correct number. So that's the idea. Memorization phase is 5 minutes, recall phase is 15 minutes. And the world record for that is right now 148 by Pratik Yadav from India. Let's see how fast Andrea can go here today. You don't see him on the video feed, but we will see what he is doing by memorizing historical dates. French Open 2022. Let's go. Okay, that's it. What you see here is, you see on the right, you see an event, Italian for him, of course. And on the left, you see the number. And what he's usually doing, or what most of them people are doing here, is they just keep take the first word and connect it to the 3-digit, 4-digit number. So 30 seconds for the first 20 dates. This is a good speed, a very good speed. For myself, I try to keep up a rhythm of 2 dates per second. No, 2 seconds per day, which makes a nice 150 in the end if it would work out. So let's check Lars' screen here as well for a second. So Andrea is already on page 3 here. Lars is on page 2. This is German, so I can even read it. So it's really like lions go on a diet. Old people accomplish to sing. Let's check the France one. So you can also, if you're from France, just check it out here. This is Guillaume. And using just one word, of course, gives you an advantage of speed. The problem with that is that you have to be careful because sometimes the same word is appearance twice or 3 times. So like a king, if you have that, then you might be in the situation that you mix things up. So that is something you have to be careful of. So now Andrea is approaching 100 dates here. Let's go for the recall here for all of them. Let's see how that looks like. So 15 minutes recall. Let's fast forward here and take a look on what is going on. And if you think this can't be possible, memorizing so many numbers in such a short time, I was the same. When I started, I was like, wow, this is impossible, but it's not. Most athletes here use the so-called major system to transform numbers into images. And then they create stories and visualize them in their heads. That makes it way more memorable than memorizing just numbers. Okay, I'm curious. What is your guess, specific guess for Andrea? Andrea's score, final score here. Mine is 132. And then let's see who is the closest here to. I'm sorry guys, but that was perfect. Who knows that stuff. So and another cool thing, of course, are interviews with the athletes. Let's listen to Guillaume, the reigning French champion. Hello. Hey Guillaume, how are you? What's up? Nice, now second place here in historic dates. How was your morning?
It's okay. I was a bit like I was not very focused on the 10-minute cards. Spoken numbers was quite okay. But yeah, it's I don't know. So I think it's okay. I'm doing okay, but I think I could have done much better. I think I mean, you know, I'm always trying to get of course, to beat your own personal records, and
Sure.
it didn't work out this time. So I don't know how. Did you get the score already?
Yeah, we have the scores. 66 for you. Congrats.
So we are supposed to start again at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay, cool. So yeah, then enjoy your break, Guillaume. So that means I will also have a break. I will stop the screen for now, and we'll be back in 1 hour for the afternoon sessions. And the afternoon session started with 5-minute images, and I was happy that one of my co-commentators was back, because sitting alone here for almost 2 days just talking to the crowd who is no one else is quite hard. So thank you, Florian, for joining me and helping me telling the right stories at the right time.
Actually, question to you, Hannes. Did you already explain how the images discipline works here compared to memory?
I didn't.
Because there's a slight difference. All right.
Thank you.
Then please
Florian.
do. Please do.
Yeah, so thank you, Florian, for pointing that out. So you see here, they have 5 images in each row. They have to memorize the order of these 5 images just for every row independent. In the recall, they have the same images in the same row, but they are shuffled. So they are not in the same order like here. And they have to indicate with typing a number, which one was image number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And for each correct row, if everything is right in a row, you get plus 5 points. But if you get a row wrong, so let's say you mix up number 2 and 3, then you get -1 for that row. So let's say you memorize 2 rows, one is correct and one is wrong, you would get 4 points. 5 for the correct row and 1 minus for the wrong row. But wrong is only wrong if you have a mistake. If you have not memorized the row or just leave it blank, then it doesn't count, then it's just 0.
Yeah, what I think is also quite interesting about discipline, because about this one in particular, is because, yeah, so the images, of course, they come, let's say, sequentially, and you have to memorize them in order in a certain row. But from my understanding, so there's quite a few competitors that, for example, would not use a memory palace to memorize this information. So you could really just go look at one row, make a story out of 4 or 5 images, and then you don't even need to place it somewhere. Because essentially when you get back there during the recall, you see exactly the same images, and you just have to remember the story.
And now let's check here the screen here.
Bastian, for someone to help us.
And this is how the recall works. Wow, Andrea is fast. You have to put in the numbers.
Wow.
Is he doing it by... He's moving with the cursor, isn't he? I'm always clicking. Or is he clicking into the field? It looks like he's using the cursor, right? Because he's going to left and right.
Maybe he's just using... No, I think the tab functionality. Or is it just left and right with the buttons?
I think you have to can go left and right, because it looks like that. This is good because it always takes so long. Tab and shift. Tab and shift tab. Use arrow keys as well. Yeah. Wow. Let's check Guillaume as well.
But I'm really impressed by the speed of Andreas' recall.
Yeah, I mean, no offense, Guillaume, but look at this. It's like an old man. He knows how I mean it. So Guillaume, if you listen to that, I give you a coffee next time. So, so Guillaume, if you're listening to that, I hope you enjoy this video. Yeah, let's fast forward the images recall here. Andrea is very fast in recalling it, and usually you have 20 minutes to recall as many images as you can, and you get 5 for a perfect row and -1 for a wrong row, as I explained. And what is very cool about this discipline, I think this is the most beginner-friendly discipline. So if you haven't done any memory sports at all or learned about memory techniques at all, this is a good way to start. The link to the website, the IAM website, will be in the description under the video. And if you try the images discipline, just create a nice little story out of the 5 images in one row. Just make sure that you don't mix things up. So start with the first image, then connect the second to the first, the third to the second, the fourth to the third, and so on. Sounds easy, but yeah, give it a try and try to visualize everything as good as possible. The more memorable an image is, the better it is. So if you want, try it out and see how many rows you can get. And who knows, we might meet someday in a memory competition. And even though the images discipline is there for quite a while, it's still the newest discipline. And the digitalization in memory sports is a rather new thing, as I mentioned, and you will see that while we are watching the results here. The France competition had a nice setup where athletes could send their scores to the main sheet and then everything would appear in a long list, which was quite exciting to watch because we have never seen something like that. In the past, when everything was still on paper, we even had to wait sometimes a day to get the results. But these times are over, and this is how it looks today. Yeah, sorry, just checking scores here.
Yeah.
So 400, 404 here for Andrea, nice. 335 for Guillaume and 201 for Lars. So some mistakes for everyone. And let's put the... Yeah, now he's doing it. They are copy-pasting a link here. So you see they have to click here on the discipline, then on their own name, of course. And then 404, yes. And then they click send. And then it goes on this page here. And then it's updating live. I think it's also a competition who enters the score for fastest here. I think Andrea was second. Is anyone here? And we have another national record here. No surprise, but it's great. Celine, 379.
Nice. So for Celine, she actually improved her own national record by only 12.
By 12
here.
Okay.
So just barely beating it.
The next discipline we are looking on is 5-minute words. And as the name is saying it, you have 5 minutes to memorize as many words as you can. Everyone gets the words in his or her own language, which makes it quite a challenge for the organizer, but the translations are quite good. And we are really happy that we have a lot of helpers helping us out here. So the goal is, of course, again here to get as many correct words in a column as you can. And the problem is, if you have one mistake in a column, you get just 10 scored for this column. And if you have 2 mistakes, you get 0 for this column. In the next clip, Florian and I are referring to review rhythms. And this is kind of an art in memory sports, because every athlete has to find his or her perfect approach here to review, especially when the longer disciplines appear. So, for example, in 5-minute words, an athlete might review once. That means he or she goes through a specific amount of word once and then starts the review. Or you can also split it up, like going through 50 words, review, then the next 50 words, review, and then review everything. So then you would have seen all the words 3 times. A good review rhythm is crucial to master that discipline. Test it for yourself in training, try different rhythms and see what works best for you.
Yeah, it is. So what do you think his strategy is here? Like also go through, let's say, 2.5, 3 minutes, then repeat, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm definitely sure that Andrea will repeat. Let's see, 100 and then repeat. That's what I do.
And what would be the result that you would aim for, let's say, in 5 minutes?
I would go for about 150, 160.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the column thing is always a problem. You have two words wrong, you tried 150, then 2 columns, 110. I think in German. Okay, look at Andrea here. He's now up to almost 70 words in 1 minute, 10 seconds. This is Memory Leak speed, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely more time. Now he's down to 140. So he memorized the first 70 words in 115 and the next 70 words in 145, around about. Okay, now it's up to review here. 2 minutes.
So as some side context, Andrea's best result in 5-minute numbers was from last year's competition in French with 128. And the current world record is by Yenja with 145.
And you have 20 in a column. And in the recall, you have to type them again. And you get 20 points or 20 scores, 20 words counted if you have all of them correct. If you have one gap or you have a gap or a wrong word, then you just get 10 counted for this column. And you have if you have 2 wrong, it can be a swap. So if you swap 2 words, you get 0 for this column. And that makes it so tough. And that makes it so tough to increase the world record here. 128 doesn't sound unbelievable, or even 145 in times of Memory Leak doesn't sound too much. But in order to have this high accuracy, it's hard. It's not easy. Not at all. And here we are. Words don't come easy by Dietmar. The cool thing about Memory Sports TV on Twitch is that people can interact with me and also the athletes through the chat and through sound alerts and other stuff. That's what I really like about it. So if you have time and if you want, just check out Memory Sports TV on Twitch and become a part of our growing community. Yeah, and here we go. With sorry for interrupting you, but
no, not at all.
This is a 98 here for the man from Italy, and that's the annoying thing, because sometimes you see, wow, this guy is so strong. He has 148, but the difference between a 148 and the 98 is just these tiny things here. Maybe a typo. I'm not sure. Maybe this is a typo. He would get the score for the typo. So he might end up... For words, it works like that. People will check afterwards if it's a typo or if it's a real mistake. And then they would maybe add some points here. Yeah, and this is what I always felt true. In this case, I would also feel, oh, this is so annoying. Because it feels like you can't show what you are really capable of. It's like you're, okay, I got 98. Okay, nice score. Yeah, but you almost did 148. The next discipline, names and faces. 5-minute names and faces. That means that an athlete has 5 minutes to memorize as many faces with the according name. And in the recall later, they have to recall the name. So there's just a mix of these. So the athlete will see all faces again in a different order and has to put as many names as possible into the right spot. And as you can already tell here from that this is international names. So it's not like James and Bill or Jessica. That can of course appear, but usually they're from around the world. And the database is quite big. So the international names for some people work quite well, but many people struggling getting a good score here, because sometimes even the spelling is so difficult. And in this discipline, you only get a point for a first name and you get a point for the last name if you have spelled it correctly. So let's say you just miss one letter, then it's a wrong name. It's not correct. You get 0 for that. So a high diversity among the names is one criterion for an organizer to host such a competition. But there's another thing, and this is about the faces themselves. The goal is to have also a high diversity among the faces. As you can see here, we try to have faces from different cultures, different parts of the world. And now you might think that, of course, you can just use the internet, look up as many faces as you want and then just copy paste them. But this is of course not that easy, because you need royalty-free photos or you have to pay a lot of money for that. And since memory sports is still a growing sport, this is quite difficult. So in this competition, the organizers tried something different. They used a website called thispersondoesnotexist.com. You can also look it up by yourself. And this is quite cool, because on this webpage, the artificial intelligence creates faces which does not exist. And sometimes these programs work very well. But in this case, it was a big mess, because maybe you can already tell, but if you look closely on all these faces, they look so similar. At least some faces look so similar that in the end, every athlete was like, okay, this was almost impossible. During memorization, you don't really see that. You feel, okay, that might work. But during recall, it's like you memorized a lot of people from the same family. So this really threw people off in this competition. But of course, this can happen and was just bad luck. So even the winning score with 33 set by Andrea wasn't something so many people would cheer about. And if you wonder how they even memorize these international names, it's all about images. So you always try to create an image, even if the name is very difficult. And when I was looking up the scoreboard after that discipline, I was again very hyped because of all this new nice stuff. Yeah, they will. Ooh, nice. I didn't see that. Who's that? Heis. Heis, nice. What is... Guys, I just see that for the first time. Show ranking after 5-minute numbers. 5-minute faces. The French podium. Look at this. Look at this. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. This looks so cool. So the French podium is Guillaume. Nice graphics, guys. Well done. Great to see that. I love it. I love it. In 5-minute numbers, you have 2 attempts. And since the first attempt for Andrea went very well, we were anticipating a world record attempt for Andrea Muzzi. There's nothing else now than to go for a world record. This is the only thing what makes sense. And
yeah.
I'm looking forward to see that. On fire! He's on fire. Everyone is on fire! World record attempt from Andrea Muzzi. Yes, sure.
Sebastian.
And here we go. 5-minute numbers with such a... What is he? No, he's just clicking very fast. Okay. It felt like the cursor was jumping. These big numbers is a nice idea. Blue and big numbers. I will test that. So let's take a look on the speed. 120 digits within 25 seconds. Nice speed. 120 and 25. This is a world record speed so far. Let's see how much time he has left when he's up to 240. This is a time when I always take a look, and I have like 340 left, 340, 345, and he is up to 240 digits now within almost 1 minute, not just 1 minute for the first 240. It's great speed, great speed. 240 in 1 minute. This is 80 digit speed in 20 seconds. This is good. This is great.
It's almost like memory leak. No, it's actually
it is
too slow for memory leak.
Yeah. It is, yeah. 360 now, approaching 360. The rhythm is good. 30 seconds again here. He's slowing just a tiny bit down here, but just a very, very little. 30 seconds per 120. The review will come. Let's see when. He will definitely review that. I mean, yeah. Now it's a bit slowing down here. Yeah, already 30 seconds for the 80 digits here. Interesting. So the first 80 was 25, the first 120. And now these 120 were like 40 seconds almost. And here's the review. After 480, it's like exactly what I do, but it is faster by like 45 seconds, which is a lot. Okay, review. I'm wondering how long the review takes. So this is Andrea Muzzi here trying to achieve a new world record in 5-minute numbers. He is... has 5 minutes to memorize as many digits as he can, and he already went for 480, and now it's in the review here. I started highlighting 6 digits at a time.
So also with let's say no divider in between them, or
yes, yeah. With the divider. And to me, his review looks slow, to be honest. I mean, it's not slow, but in terms of what I expected here from him. He has already used 1 minute now for reviewing 240. And I mean, maybe it's his style. 240 for the memorization, at the same time for the recall. Let's see. At the review, I do the review faster than the memorization. Like 66% for the memorization and 33% for the review. Let's see how fast he can approach the remaining digits and how much time he has left. Will be not 1 minute. Yeah, so 245, like 2 minutes review here. 215 was the memorization, and now it looks like 2 minutes, maybe also 215. So it's almost 50-50 here for him, for memorization and review. And now he has 37 seconds left. This is interesting. Do you have to resize when you switch sides? It looked a bit like that. 30 seconds now. Okay, I have the same amount of time left when I go for 480. But let's see. 30 seconds can be 120, but can it be more? Yeah, no, I don't see a world record attempt here now. Maybe 560, 580. Still nice, super strong, but not more than in the first attempt. So speed-wise, it was a bit like the same as in the first attempt, which is great. I mean, there was a great recall, a great memorization. Okay, so we fast forward the recall phase here because it's 15 minutes. And here people have to just put in all the digits into the right spot. And the problem about this, again, as in almost every discipline, you get very high penalties if you get a gap or something wrong in a row. So for example, you have 40 digits in each row. And if you get one digit wrong, just one, you get 20 counted in this row. If you get 2 wrong, you get 0 for that row. So you can memorize 120 digits, 3 rows. But in each of these rows, you have 2 single digits wrong. You will just score 0. Very tough scoring. And we have an 80 here. It's a tiny improvement from Guillaume. We have a 184 from Lars. And we have a, what do we have from Andrea here? Wow! 556. So what is wrong? There's 1 digit. 1 digit wrong. Yeah, 1 digit. What is it? That one there. Ah, nice score here. 556 and in the first attempt 536. This is the only digit, right? Okay, quite easy to make the commentator happy here. So that was day 1 and this competition goes over 2 days. So let's go and dive into day 2. Hello, and good morning from Montpellier. I actually, to be honest, I was a bit sleepy and it was hard to get out of the bed today, but I made it finally. And let's see if the camera works. Yeah, it works. And they are almost on time here, which was quite shocking to me. Next discipline, and we have the feed from Andrea, we have the feed from Lars again. Yeah, let's go. 5-minute binary. I explain a bit about what you are going to see now. So we have Andrea Muzzi's screen here, and you'll see now, yeah, here you see it. You see a sequence, not a page of just binary digits. So 1001 and so on. So what is he doing is he's transforming 9 digits, 9 binary digits into 1 image. Then he is putting that in his memory palace. And this technique with 3x3 makes it faster because I feel you can see it on one glance. You can just take a look on that, like these digits here. It's really straightforward. It's easier than 9 in a row to me, or 10 in a row. So yeah, that's really cool. Let's see what is Lars doing here. Wait for the first page because I would like to see how many he gets on the first page. One page is 360 binary digits. Let's check a Lars here. Yeah, Lars, see that here for Lars. He's having also 9 digits, but he's seeing them in a row. To me, it feels a bit slower to read along the line. How do you feel about it? It's like from the left to the right. So let's see if he is reviewing it. To me, I'm not sure if he is. I would say no, because he's really deep into everything right now. He's almost up to 1080 digits now. I have seen that by others too, or heard about others too, that they might not review in binary. Now he's taking a lot of time here. And I think one reason for that is that it's not so easy to lose so many digits if you have something wrong. But now he's taking a lot of time here on these digits. It's just 1 minute left, 1080 reached almost. 42 rows. In the end, you have to push through that you can make it up here to the end of the row. Otherwise, you lose a lot of digits if you have just memorized 9 here. So 42 rows times 30 is 1260, isn't it? Yeah. So if he gets everything correct, then he would break his own personal best. Lars already started recalling here. Let's check Andrea also. Yeah, and I like this recall speed. Look at this. This is just, it's like a machine, isn't it? So for binary digits, it's of course a bit easier. You have just 1 and 0s. It looks so cool. So this is what he just memorized. Andrea Muzzi memorized a lot of binary digits is now recalling it. And this is the most, I feel, alien discipline, if you can call it like that, because it looks so strange. Even for me now, who is very, very familiar with what is going on here, it looks a bit like, what the heck is going on? How in the world can someone memorize this with this? Nothing more to say about it. And then type everything here. This is just insane, isn't it? So let's see, the scores are almost there. Here we go, Andrea. Can he beat his own best? I somehow doubt it. No, 100. He tried to beat it, but 101, 1,128 updating. Florian here with 525, beating Guillaume in the direct duel for the French Championship. This is the one to watch here. We will take a look on the overall score sheet in a second. Andrea just out of the world here. Second place for Florian here. So let's check the overall standings here for, especially also for the French Open. And Guillaume is still in the lead here in the French Open. He's tied in position with Daniele, which is cool. Celine in the lead here. Actually, Andrea in the lead, but Celine just slightly behind. And yeah, it's still close. It's still very close here. French podium is Guillaume in the lead with 3,002 points. But this is just 76 points behind him. There is Florian, and this is not a comfortable lead. Let's see. I like Celine's photo. She is like looking up to Andrea here and just saying to herself, I will get you one day, something like that. 15-minute numbers. So as it is might be clear from the name of the discipline, in this competition this is discipline number 9 actually, and athletes have to memorize they have 15 minutes to memorize as many digits as they can, and take on the world record, look on the world record soon as well. You see here again our competitors in the room preparing things. So 15-minute numbers it is. So they have 15 minutes to memorize a sequence of numbers as long as they can, as many as they can. And you have 40 in a row, and you have to memorize these rows. And the problem, as always, is if you have one mistake in a row, one mistake, one wrong, you just get half of the points for this row. 2 and you get 0 for this row, which is tough. So 15-minute numbers. Let's see if Andrea is approaching a world record here. I can imagine going him for a world record. The world record is 1,300 digits. Yes, it's a 1,300 digits long numbers. And this is by Mongshur from Mongolia. But it's already 3 years old. And I feel this is in his range. This is definitely in Andreas' range. Not just a bit. Last year in the Memory XL Open in Germany, he did 1,277. And so he's just 23 digits behind Mongshur here. Will we see a new world record here in memorizing numbers within 15 minutes? So Mongshur 1,300 and Andrea 1,277. So there is a chance for him to grab that world record. We haven't seen a world record in this competition so far. And it would be great for Andrea here, of course, to get at least one home here. Okay, so let's go. 50 seconds, then we have the result from Andrea here. What is your guess? You have time to type your guess into the chat. I will not go first, but I also not wait for the very end. I'm not so confident, to be honest. How many rows? 5, 6. Yeah, I'm very conservative here, to be honest. No offense to Andrea here, but I feel it's more like this, 880. Okay, let's wait for the final result. Yeah, maybe I'm too conservative here, I don't know. Yeah. So this was actually already discipline number 9, and that left us with just one discipline here, speed cards. The competitors have to memorize a deck of 52 playing cards as fast as they can. The excitement is high. This was attempt number 2. Let's go. Okay, so the mouse is now hovering over, and here we go. Speed cards. Second attempt. Andrea, Mutzi, don't blink. $13.97 here from Andrea. 13.97. almost a second faster than the first attempt. Let's see if we can get it. So this was an amazingly strong time, and now the recall works like in 10-minute cards, just for one card, deck of cards, puzzling it together. Let's forward that here and see if Andrea can get it. Minute, and then there's the French Open 2022 is over. I can't believe it. But yeah, it's really cool. We have built something here with this setup, and this is now a matter of improvement to have more screen shares, have camera setups for the competitors. It works well, and I mean that gives us really the opportunity to show more to the audience. I will, if I can find the time, I will definitely edit a summary here of that and put it on YouTube to show to the world. Okay, 15 seconds. And then let's also watch Guillaume or Florian jumping up and down. 5 seconds.
Mute and
Andrea didn't get it. Alexis.
Hey, what's up?
Andrea, hi.
You see me sucking in speedcast 2 times. 13 seconds.
Oh, come on, that was a great attempt. I see you're suffering now a bit.
I am. I can't hear you very well, but
it's fine.
But, it's painful. I mean, I would have broken the 15 seconds barrier 14. Come on.
Yeah.
It's
Andrea, you gave us a great show, and yeah.
Happy for that.
Thank you for making that possible, Andrea. That was really cool. Thank you a lot. That was cool.
Thanks to you.
And enjoy the rest of the event. And
yeah, I guess I will get drunk, but yeah. Thanks.
That's good. Get drunk and drink something for me.
Well. And say hi to the new Italian star, 3rd place in 2 out of 2 competitions, Daniele.
Daniele, congratulations on your 3rd place.
Thank you very much.
A very nice performance. Celine, nice position. I don't know who won the French championship.
Guillaume, that was destroyed by Daniele, but still won the French one, and yeah, and I have also both Daniele and Celine are was coached by me, so happy also about that. So yeah, but speedcast, come on. Okay, I guess we have to go now.
Okay, enjoy the ceremony, get drunk, and see you soon.
Yeah, we will get drunk probably. Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Of course, let's take a last look on the overall rankings. Andrea Muzzi, congratulations, winning the French Open 2022. Yeah, I think we'll have a nice party tonight. And Celine in 2nd place, best Belgium player ever. No, it's 8 national records for Belgium here. Celine de Luca. And Daniele getting the 3rd place. So Guillaume, 4th place overall. Daniele, the 3rd place. Norbert Reuker from Germany, one of the oldest competitors, if not the oldest one in this competition. And everyone else, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm pretty sure people are now leaving the room. I think the celebration will be in another room, so we will not stay for that. But thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching. Everyone, have a nice Sunday. And as always, keep on memorizing. Bye-bye.
All right.
So this was an amazingly strong time,